Hello, welcome to Dundro's podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So, I deleted my Watchmen review. I did for a couple reasons, but the primary one is I don't even know if I can say this, but basically, I probably said something I shouldn't have because my video was, to me, it looks like it was SB, which if you know what SB means, which I don't know if I can say without getting SB again, but basically if you take your cursor and put it over a thumbnail, if it doesn't autoplay, that means it was SB, and that will affect views and whatnot. And it's like I was tiptoeing so hard in that video to avoid saying stuff that would get me SB because, or we'll just say Shadow Moses. I was Shadow Moses. like half my videos now that I put out nowadays are Shadow Moses, and I'm like, I don't even know what the heck I said for that to fucking happen. Well, I didn't swear in the first 30 seconds, which is another Shadow Moses thing that will happen. So it's like, God damn it, man. It's whatever. So I'm figured, well, if they're gonna shadow ban my video, okay, I said it. I might as well re-upload a review and just say what I want to say and forget it. And my fans and friends or whoever will watch the video, right? So today we're doing a spoiler review of Alan Moore's Watchmen, which came out from 86 to 87. It's 12 issues. I have the trade paperback here, soft cover. Probably should have got a hardcover back in the day, because now this one says, now an HBO series that was highly politicized and made a lot of your favorite characters super bad and made them out to be racists. Which it's like so dumb. It's like you took a comic book series that was about like the end of like our characters trying to stop what they thought was the end of the world, right? And when really it was the villain, spoiler alert, trying to save the world in his own way. Right? Which, you know, I'm not... if you want, like, my non-spoiler, like, review of it, it's like, it's a 9 out of 10, it's a classic, but dogs are killed, and there are some unlikable characters. Probably most of our characters are unlikable. Lots of ultra violence, some nudity, and yeah. So it's 9 out of 10. It's a classic, but yeah, there's some stuff in there, and it's really depressing halfway through. So that's 9 out of 10. So I'm gonna go into spoilers. So what the Watchmen comic book is about is basically it's basically what happens. What would have happened if the Cold War was going on at the same time when America had superheroes, right? And one of those superheroes was basically a god, right? Which that character is Dr. Manhattan, who can assemble and disassemble atoms, and he's not virtually, I don't fucking know. He's basically unkillable, right? Other characters we have are Jorah, what's her name? Laurel Jane Juspesic, who's like 35 years old, one of the youngest superheroes that were going around. She's the daughter of the original Silk Spectre. She's Silk Spectre too, and is the bastard daughter of the comedian. Spoiler alert. Other characters, if you have Dan Drayberg, aka Night Owl 2, who is the Boy Scout of the team. He's probably modeled after Ted Kord, Blue Beetle, but he's like the most Batman. He's a mix between Batman and like Superman. If Batman had like Superman's like Boy Scout morals. Other characters, you have the comedian, who's basically like a crazy Captain America type, who people say, like, if you ever watch, there's this one comic book YouTube channel, Indies Goings Down, who is great, by the way, in my opinion. And he said that the comedian was probably based off of Peacemaker, who's going to be in the new Suicide Squad movie. Last two heroes are Ozymandias, who's the smartest man, who's rich and successful, who retired like 2 years earlier than a lot of our superheroes, who were forced to retire except for the comedian and Dr. Manhattan because of something called the Keene Act during '77, right? And he's the villain of our series, which was kind of obvious because, like, I mean, it's kind of obvious because they don't really point out to any other, like, they're like, for a comic book that's supposed to be a whodunit, there's not a lot of suspects, so it's kind of obvious it was him. To be perfectly honest, and I love how he's like the super leftist superhero, and he's like the most evil, arguably, and he's a genocidal sociopath who, oh my god, I find that funny, right? Which even like there's like an interview between like him and like Doug Roth, I think, from the leftist like newspaper in the comic, and like, you know, he's like he was super like sucking like Ozymandias' dick and like bashing like the so-called right-wing superheroes, which he called like fucking, the guy's so dumb, he calls like Dr. Manhattan like a right-wing superhero, even though, like, let's be real, the guy like views most of humanity like ants, even says so himself, right? Which the last superhero of the team, which is the most anti-hero of them all, is Rorschach, who's a crazy homeless superhero who's like right-wing, whose mother was who was raised by a single mother, poor, and that you know, screwed him up as a kid, right? And Rorschach is probably the best written character, and it's kind of funny because like he was not supposed to be likable or cool, but like he's like he has like, I don't know how he, apparently it wasn't intentional, according to what Richard C. Meyer, that like, you know, Rorschach wasn't supposed to be the coolest character. Like Alan Moore probably hates him, which Rorschach was based off some people say he's based off The Question, some people say he's based off Mr. A. I'm not 100% sure on that. No, I think Alan Moore said he was based off Mr. A. I'm not 100%. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, which Rorschach kills two dogs in like a flashback scene where he talks about the point where he's getting interviewed by this liberal psychiatrist who's trying to make a book off him or whatever, and like Rorschach just breaks down his spirit after like revealing his like tragic origin story where he first became Rorschach. Before he was LARPing as Rorschach, but like the moment, like, you know, he during like a kidnapping case that went wrong, he, you know, became Rorschach, which they alluded to that in previous issues. They allude to a lot of stuff in the comic book that pays off, which I highly enjoy, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's also some dark humor in the comic book, right? Where like, because there's a funny scene where, like, you know, Dr. Manhattan reveals that like he can see into the future and the past. He lives like all the different time periods instantaneous, right? So there's a point where in the past he's talking to like two different people, right? And that like both to Rorschach in the future and to his like ex-girlfriend in the past, right? Who by the way, kind of creepy that, like, you know, he started dating Silk Spectre too when she was 16, and then there's like other references to like creepy underage stuff. I didn't even notice when Rorschach is walking through like the New York fucking red light district or whatever, he's passing by a porno theater, and there's like on the billboard or whatever, it says it's showing a movie called Enola Gay, which was the name of the plane that dropped the nuclear bombs on Japan, or atom bombs on Japan. And the porno film is called Enola Gay and the Little Boys, which is like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Which I find that weird because like there's a bunch of female hookers hanging outside of that porno theater, and there's like boobs everywhere. I wanted to show that picture in this review, but I can't probably because of the nudity, even though it's like really shitty drawn nudity. But it probably still counts, right? So yeah, I'm not putting that image in there. Yeah. So like yeah, what else to say? Basically the whole comic book, right, is like I said, it's basically what if you had superheroes running around in, you know, during the Cold War, right? And how super fucking, how that would probably drive the Russians over the edge, right? And the book is highly politicized. They make and because Alan Moore is a leftist, a champagne socialist, also a Freemason, according to Wikipedia. Which does not surprise me, which probably means that he's not really a leftist and he's super elitist, because like if you know anything about Freemason, inner circle, outer circle, they're like super elitist. So to me, I don't think you can be a liberal, and at the same time being elitist at the same time. That's a bit hypocritical for me, in my opinion, right? Which yeah, the comic book makes right wing people look bad, but the left wing people, look good. So when like Ozymandias reveals like his crazy plan to basically do a fake alien invasion to scare the Russians into to scare the world into basically world peace, to have his world one world government, one world government, the new world order, all the stuff Alex Jones was talking about, which is some Alex Jones references in this comic book, which I didn't even know that Alex Jones was. I don't think Alex Jones was around in 85 or 86. So that might have been William Cooper or whatever, who probably said that stuff before Alex Jones. I don't know. I would have to look that up. Sorry, I had to take a sip. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a fake alien invasion where the Ozymandias creates this giant squid-like monster that was made from cloning the brain of a human psychic, which they reference, and this monster was created by famous artists from around the world and scientists working together on this island, which he has them all killed. Ozymandias, the fucking asshole, has them all killed, right after they completed their job. Which that was a very sad scene where the writer and the Indian artist chick are making out, and they discovered a bomb, or he discovers the bomb and it's about to go off, and he just hides the fact that it's about to go off and just hugs her. That was a pretty sad scene. Yeah. Yeah. Sad. And they took that out of the movie, which I kind of felt like they took that out of the movie, the Zack Snyder movie, for I guess the idea was that, oh, it's so ridiculous. Even Night Owl was like, Adrian, come on, you're joking, right? And Adrian Vett's no. So which, and the thing explodes, right? Kills half in New York, and it reminds me of the Project Blue Book or Blue Point or whatever it's called, which is this like apparently a CIA op to fake an alien invasion, and Warner von Braun, who was the NASA head of NASA for like a couple decades, who was recruited for Operation Paperclip, warned people on his deathbed, hey, there's going to be a fake alien invasion, so look out for that, right? Which is probably why they're doing this stupid like UFO shit now, which I don't think UFOs exist. I think it's just like I'm supposed to see a fucking light in the sky moving around, and I'm supposed to think that that's a fucking UFO, that's a fucking vehicle, that's a fucking thing, man. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's like, come on, man. Which I've seen some shit, some UFO looking shit, and I'm like, I just assume it's like a prank or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't give it. I think it's bullshit, honestly. But like, I thought it's kind of cool that they reference that. They also reference other shit in here that I can't talk about because yeah. But if you're like not knowledgeable on like conspiracy stuff, you'll probably get it. Which I've seen how like Alan Moore is a Freemason. Allegedly, it wouldn't be too surprising to see that he would know certain stuff like that, right? Yeah. Which I have a friend who thinks the Freemasons are not evil, and I'm like, dude, they're a secret society. Just because they've been outed and they have like public lodges and stuff that you can go to try to recruit it, to like join. It's like again, they have the thing called the inner circle and the outer circle, like blue or white degrees, I think they're called. I can't remember, but like, yeah, it's like they're not gonna let like normal people join. It's like the whole like Satanist scare from the 80s and stuff, or not the 80s. That shit was going on for a long time, but it's like they don't want to recruit normal people. These secret society groups do not want to recruit normal people. They want to recruit the rich and famous. There's a reason why, like, Scientology, right, and like a lot of the Hollywood people are like saying this. It's because those people have the most money and power that so they can get shit done, man. Like, normal people can't get shit done. The people with the power and the money can get shit done. They don't want like us, man. So sorry to get on a tangent like that, but yeah. So we're starting to get to the point where this is just as long as the other video. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna wrap this review. Basically, a lot of cool stuff in this comic book. A lot of cool art, though. I think some of the designs are kind of shitty, like Silk Spectre's costume and Night Owl. I think they did a great job of making it look cool for the movie. Which the Zack Snyder's Night Owl costume looks way better, though it does not look like something somebody could come up with in the 70s. But they made it like it looks like something, because it's like it's like rubber latex, right? So it's like something that they had they were doing for like superhero films in like the late 80s and early 90s. Oh, like, yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was, I don't know. I still think that the costumes, they did a great job with the costumes in the movie. Though, like, Rorschach and Comedian's costumes, except for the Gimp mask, which thank God they did not have in the movie. Which the only reason he had the Gimp mask, like Comedian had the Gimp mask, is because when his face was cut up by that Vietnamese whore, that Dr. Manhattan had the nerve to give Edward Blake shit, which they kept referencing Blake, and then there was like the William Blake reference, which he's a poet, and in one of the in-between issues, right? Like, so like I don't know if this book was inspired by William Blake stuff, They also quote like Bob Dylan songs, which I think Bob Dylan's overrated, but I don't know. I don't like his music. Yeah. Though I think that like the All Along the Watchtower, like lyrically, it's great, and like the Jimi Hendrix version is amazing. Which thank God they had. Of course they were gonna have it for the fucking movie, which we're gonna do commentary for. One thing I will mention, my last critique, which I already said I didn't like the dog killing in the beginning of the video, is like, yeah, the 4-page, like, uh, like the 4-page written text stuff that's like, that was like, supposedly like, sorry, excerpts or whatever, fuck, excerpts, yeah, that's the word, I think, from like, books and like, articles. I thought they were cool, but at the same time, man, it's like, it really destroyed the flow, because you're trying to read a comic book, and then like, before you can go to the next issue, you have to read like 4 pages of text, man, which would take me almost as long as reading the issue to read those 4 pages, because it's like so boring, and it's not like they don't have useful information in those like like those transcripts or whatever, but it's at the same time, it's like Jesus, it's like they'll reference it, and they'll also reference the same information in the comic book, so it's like, it's kind of pointless to read that shit, other than to know, like, I think one thing they mentioned is like, oh, like, yeah, like Ozymandias wanted his like fashion, like fashion cosmetic stuff, adverts to have like androgynous like imagery, so like gays would also buy his shit. So it's like, that's one thing that was in one of the in one of those like info dumps in between issues, that like what wasn't referenced in the comic book, other than like, yeah, so like, besides from that, I feel like you can almost skip that shit if you don't want to read it, right? Or go back to it after you finish reading the book, which this is 400 pages, by the way. Well, 400, and the comic book 414, and there are some extra sketches and whatnot from Dave Gibbon, which he draws like Rorschach as a dog. So I don't know why. Sketch of Watchmen spin-off suggestion by a young Neil Gaiman. Oh, Neil Gaiman wanted to make a spin-off called Watch Dogs. Oh my god. Fuck Neil Gaiman, by the way. I heard that he had sued, like, I didn't know, I had heard, like, Neil Gaiman sued Todd McFarlane, but I didn't know it was for that Angela character, so, like, the guy fucking sued Todd McFarlane for the rights for Angela, which, Angela, didn't she already, she had already previously appeared in, like, a Spawn issue before he started writing the comic book, but like, she was like out of costume, I think. So it's like, wow, you basically stole the character, and then this went and like sold it to Marvel. It's like, what a piece of shit Neil Gaiman is. And he also bought the rights for this right-wing writer. I heard Sam Hyde talk about it, and basically he was like this very philosophical writer with like cool, like, science fiction stories, and bought the rights for his stuff only to make sure it never gets published. It's like, what a piece of shit Neil Gaiman is. Which we're never gonna review comics by Neil Gaiman ever again. I don't care if all my subscribers, which like I only have like 2% watch my stuff anymore, ask me to like review Neil Gaiman stuff. We're not gonna review any more Neil Gaiman stuff. Yeah, so sorry for this random review, but like, yeah, I was pissed off that my Watchmen review was like, Shadow Moses. so yeah, I wanted to do it all over, which, sorry for, which there was a bunch of tangents and stuff, but You know, I prefer doing reviews like this where I just talk into the mic than if I'm at a desk. Alright, guys. Alright.